Oh, it's been 8.5 years since Mikey was taken from us by the police officer before the road. And, you know, I have my beautiful daughter Michaela, who's 8.5, named after Mikey, who's just that everlasting memory of, how long ago did Mikey die? And I thought, oh my gosh, Michaela. You know, I was like 7 months pregnant. So you can imagine where hormones are when you have like children. At the best of time, just to be carrying your own child, and then to have a phone call from, I think it was my brother Junior, called Chris to say that Mikey is dead, and my emotions were just a huge roller coaster. And even just thinking about it, it brings me back to that night, being 7 months pregnant, you know, just about to bring a new life into the world, and knowing that, you know, my bestest brother ever, you know, has just been taken away. And every year people go, it'll get easier, you know, the pain, and you'll never forget, but it will get easy to cope with the grieving and everything. And it does, and I'll say to people who, fingers crossed they don't go through it in the future, but with the amount, we'll have a roll call shortly, with the amount of deaths that have been happening, and I was sure that after Mikey's death that surely no one else would die in police custody again, and yet many more have, and so that's really disheartening. But just to say a few words about Mikey and my feelings, that Mikey was my big brother, and to the point that he thought he was the daddy, you know, and you know, in some ways he was the daddy. I remember once, and I'll just tell a little story as to what Mikey meant to me as a brother. He wasn't just a brother, because we all have brothers and sisters, some are close, some are not. But Mikey was my brother, but he was a little bit like my dad, or thought he was anyway. He was joking and laugh about that. But I can always remember being about 18, and Mikey, myself, my cousin Viv, and her partner at the time, all got in the car and we're going to a dance, and we were going to, it was Nottingham or somewhere exciting, being 18 and going out to a dance. And Big Brother's with me, so I'm really feeling protected and the rest of it. So we get into the car, we go to this dance, and we're raving, we're partying all night. The dance is great. It gets about 5 o'clock in the morning and it's time to go home. Then I've got some of the friends, some nice guys, cute guys. And they too were 18. They too were 18, like I was. And you know, when you're 18, you think you're old, but you're really just a kid still. But yes, and these two guys called Mark, I can't remember their surnames, but they were both called Mark. These two Marks I used to hang out with said, come back with us, you know, come back in the car, we'll drive home together. And they goes, oh yeah, okay, I want to go tell Mark that I'm driving back to Birmingham with you guys. So I went over to Mike, I go, Mike, I'm going to go back with the Marks, okay? And he looks at me and goes, stay in the car, you ain't going with them, you're coming with me. You came to Nottingham with me, you're coming back with me, and I'm so vexed, I can't handle that, and, do you know? And I'm going, but sorry, we'll follow you behind. I go, no, you travel with me. Okay. And then that's where he put his daddy thing on. He's like, get in the car, come and help me. And I'm thinking that you're just my big brother, you know what I mean? You're not my dad. But, you know, I had so much respect. I had so much respect for my brother Mikey that I thought, you know what? I respect the fact he just said it so forcefully. But you know what? All right, you can play daddy tonight. So I said, alright, so I got in the car with my brother, and we went home, got home, 6 o'clock in the morning, went to bed. So the point of this story is that about 3 hours later, about 9 o'clock that day, I got a phone call from a friend saying that the two Marks ended up in a car crash on the motorway and were both killed instantly. And I just shiver every time I tell people the story, and I'm thinking, so you can imagine, I'm thinking, but I only saw them 4 hours ago. What do you mean they're dead? They got into a car crash, and I had to go to their inquest and be their witness, having been the last person that's spoken to them. And I think it turned out that one of the Marks fell asleep at the wheel. And, you know, 22 years on, they're no longer here with us. And I just remembered Mikey saying to me when I told him, he goes, you see? You know, and that, you could have been, you know, and it was just like, wow, he really was, you know, he protected me. Just that, you know, so I just wanted to say that's what Mikey meant to me. It still means to me now, is that, do you know what, he was like my daddy as well as my brother, that he always wanted to protect me. And that's what Mikey was like with everybody in his life, from family, friends, to nieces, to the kids on the street. He'd stop, give them some change to go get, some sweets, or tell them to come off the streets and behave and go in their house to the young guys. He really was a big brother, but also a bit of a daddy to all the young ones around. And that really just sums up.
I'd just like to add as well, you should tell her about the time he locked you in the basement cellar.